Hey guys, Feisty3 here, and welcome to my top 10 NXT picks to be called up to the main roster. It is officially July 19th as I'm recording this. It's gone past midnight. Sure, SmackDown goes live Tuesday night, which is obviously today as I'm recording this. I apologise for the way I am right now. It's just so incredibly hot here in England, and yeah, we'll just go on with the video. So, obviously WWE has released the rules for the WWE Draft, and they did mention that six superstars from NXT will be called up onto the main roster. So 2 of those guys is a no-brainer, but I'm going to be picking my top 10. Ninja quote there. 10. My top 10 NXT guys that will be called up onto the main roster. These are in no particular order. I have the roster way over here, and there are some guys on here that I think deserve better in NXT. So these are in no particular order. I mean, sure, I'm going to say, oh yeah, this is number 1 and 2 because it'll be a tag team. So here are my top 10 picks. I know I'm repeating myself, but here we go. So number 1, it's a no-brainer. Bayley. I mean, sure, we've been waiting for this for the longest time, and it will finally come true. Bayley be called up into the main roster. I do hope big things for her. And I just want to also mention, I should have mentioned this before I went through these top 10. Vince McMahon, do not screw any of these guys' careers up, please. They had a big run in NXT. Please do not screw them over onto the main roster. You did it with Baron Corbin, with 4 months of Ziggler and Corbin. Apollo Crews should deserve better for the most part. I mean, sure, Corbin and Apollo were like in the finals for the Battle Royal on the episode of Raw last week, which was won by Darren Young, unsurprisingly, and he's facing the Miz for the Intercontinental title, but they deserve a lot better. Enzo and Cass, I mean, sure, they're okay at the moment. AJ Styles, again, he's doing okay at the moment. So, for any of these guys that I mentioned, please do not screw them up, Vince. I beg of you, because NXT is a big thing for me. Sure, I attended NXT London. I keep saying that in most of my videos now, or any time I mention wrestling to people. NXT London is the only thing that pops into my head because it was the first show I went to, my first pay-per-view that I actually went to as well, and yeah, it is my number 1 favourite wrestling show of all WWE. I think it's NXT, Raw and SmackDown. So I know I'm rambling on, but yeah, so number 1, it's no brainer. Bayley gets called onto the main roster, and the brands that she should be drafted on is for Monday Night Raw, I believe, just for what it is. So yeah, number 2, or 2 and 3 even, this is a former tag team. Now I'm thinking that they should the team split up. I think they should go into singles competition. We'll probably just see them on Superstars, the main event for the most part, and sure, there'll be jobbing here and there, but I do hope somewhere down the line that after their singles competition they'll just bring them back together for what it is. And those guys are Blake and Murphy, 2 former NXT tag team titles. Sure, they had a good run with the titles last year, after losing it to the Vaudevillains at NXT Brooklyn, which was a great show, by the way. But I do think that these guys deserve better. I mean, sure, they had a good run with the titles, then everything just went downhill. So I'm hoping at some point that they get back together and then hopefully become a better team than what they was before. Number 4, because I want to see her come back with this particular team, who are teaming up with John Cena at Battleground, it's Carmella. Way, because she's the hottest chicken. Bada bing, hottest chicken in the ring. I was about to say hottest chicken in the room, but it wouldn't work. I kind of miss how Carmella's just on her own and she doesn't ever have her boys with her. But I kind of miss Carmella being with Enzo and Cass. I'm not gonna lie. I just enjoy for what she is. Sure, she had a good title match against Bayley at one point, and that was awesome. I actually thought she was gonna win it at some point. But I do think it's her time to be called up in the main roster. Join Enzo and Cass for what it is, and see what goes on from there for her. Hopefully, she might have a WWE Women's title match against the likes of Charlotte, or probably the new champion in the future, which will probably be Bayley. So yeah. What were you on? Number 1, 2, 3, 4. So we mentioned Bayley, Blake and Murphy, Carmella. Number 5 will be none other. It's a no-brainer. Finn Balor. Former NXT champion, beaten Neville's record as the longest reigning NXT champion. He lost to Samoa Joe at that live event. Sure, I think a lot of people were confused for those who do not watch WWE on YouTube, but yeah, Samoa Joe won it from Finn Balor. Had a rematch at NXT Dallas. No, NXT TakeOver the Yens. Keep forgetting about that pay-per-view. And Balor was short. Was that close on winning it. So I think it's his time to be called on the main roster. Even though he did mention, like, way before, he said, "Oh, I would prefer being on NXT. NXT's my home." But I'm thinking, well, as of now, I think it's time for you to be called up, to be honest, Finn. I mean, sure, you've had... What was it? You had NXT London, Dallas, the end. You had like 3 straight pay-per-views of Balor and Joe, and this went on for months. I'm thinking this happened all the way from October of last year. So think about it. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So you're thinking about 8 solid months of Balor versus Joe. That was a crazy ride. I think it's time for Balor to be called up on the main roster. Hopefully there will be some sort of angle between Balor and AJ Styles. The whole thing with the club. Oh yeah, former members of the club, and they'll have a match at some point. Probably a dream match at WrestleMania or some sort. I don't know, but we'll just have to see what happens. So number 5 is Finn Balor. Number 6 and number 7, even though they had a short run with the NXT Tag Team titles, it's American Alpha, because Gable, Jordan, that big song that they played at NXT London, where it was they were trying to do a parody of No Limit by 2 Unlimited. If you've not heard that song, do check it out. It's just a classic kind of club song. I don't think that they still play it, to be honest, but it was brought up during that fatal 4-way tag team match at NXT London between the Vaudevillains, the Hype Bros, and Blake and Murphy. I mean, sure, the American Alpha's got a bit of an angle at the moment as to trying to win back the NXT tag titles, though they have a short feud with the Authors of Pain, and I believe that they were supposed to have a match with Gargano and Ciampa at some point to determine the number 1 contenders. I think in that number 1 contendership will go to none other than Gargano and Ciampa, just for what they are, the 2 amazing indie guys. But as of Jordan and Gable, they look like the next Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, just for what they are. Suplexes everywhere, ankle locks, shades of Kurt Angle. So yeah, I just think that these 2 guys will have a huge fan base by the time they get onto the main roster. So yeah, I pray for them to be on the main roster. I forgot to mention for the other guys. I'll mention it afterwards, but American Alpha deserves to be on the main roster. Number 8 is, even though he missed out a year's worth of in-ring competition because we had no idea if he was going to be able to return due to his injury, that is Hideo Itami. He returned onto a house show at the end of June. I don't know, I forget who he was facing. I know Hideo teamed up with someone like Shinsuke to face Samoa Joe, and I think it was Blake. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, Hideo's just been one of those guys who I've enjoyed since his debut. Sure, his debut with the whole field of the Ascension, and then going on to face the likes of Tyler Breeze. And I just think Hideo's is going to be one of those guys in future that's going to, again, have a huge fan base, even though coming from Japan and whatnot, you know, alongside current NXT Women's Champion Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura. So, yeah, Hideo, he might be on the main roster. If not, I think he's going to have quite a feud trying to get back to where he was, probably have a NXT title shot, and then at some point they're just going to call him up to the main roster just for what he does, in all seriousness. So yeah. Number 9. Number 9. This is going to be a weird one, but I'm just thinking just for what it is, because I have no idea why there's certain guys still on the NXT roster. They'll just call him up for, oh yeah, we're going to have a tag team match. Do you want to be on NXT? Sure. And then just bring the other guy in. So, number 9 is none other than Mojo Rawley. Yep, I know what you're thinking. Sure, Zack Ryder right now, he's got a US title match against Rusev at Battlegrounds. And please, for the love of God, if he does actually win, which I highly doubt he will, but let's just say that if he does win, please do not drop the title the night after, just like at WrestleMania, because that was a huge... Oh, I don't know what was going through their minds when they actually decided to do it. But Zack Ryder, he's going back to where he was like many years ago when he was champion, and I really enjoyed his WrestleMania win, and then it just fell flat just the night after, thanks to The Miz. Ugh. Why? Just why, WWE? But yeah, Zack Ryder's got a championship match against Rusev this Sunday at Battlegrounds. So let's just say that if he doesn't win and all things just fall flat on his face, then why not call up Mojo Rawley just for what it is, and hopefully they'll just bring them up, you know, the Hype Bros are on the main roster, and then hopefully at some point they'll have a NXT title shot. I really enjoy those guys. So yeah, just for what it is, I'm just thinking Mojo Rawley. I think he should be called on the main roster. He'll probably just be doing singles competition, on Superstars and main events. Same goes with Blake and Murphy, but we'll just have to see what goes on for the most part. And finally, number 10, we all know what's coming up. Ty Dillinger. I mean, sure, that crazy gimmick of just 10. I'm kind of liking this. I think I started liking this gimmick just at the start of this year. I mean, of course I saw him live NXT London when Sami Zayn returned. I wasn't fully into it, but I'm just thinking, well, as of now, he's got a huge fan base for what it is, and, well, not huge, but it's got a decent fan base, and I think Ty Dillinger and his gimmick, I think this is gonna be something good for him on the main roster. So yeah. So those are my 10 picks for NXT guys to be called up onto the main roster. Just to mention who they are once again, and the and what brand that they should be on. So we've got Bayley for number 1. I think she's going to be drafted onto Raw. Number 2 and 3, Blake and Murphy should be drafted onto SmackDown. Number 4 is Carmella. I can't remember who I picked Enzo and Cass for on that fantasy draft, but I think it was Raw for the most part. Something Carmella goes onto Raw as well. Number 5 is Finn Balor. I think he's going to go on to SmackDown. Number 6 and 7 is American Alpha. I think they're going to go on to SmackDown as well. Number 8 is Hideo Itami. I'm thinking he's going to go on to SmackDown. Number 9 is Mojo Rawley. I think he's going to go to Raw just to team up with Zack Ryder for the most part. And number 10 is Ty Ninja. He's going to go on to SmackDown. So those are my top 10 NXT picks for, to be called up on the main roster. Hope you guys enjoy. Do pick your top 10 picks in the comment section down below. And yeah, so stay tuned for the other video coming up next, which is my top 10 guys to return for the WWE Draft. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.